everyone, I am Mary and this is Athena's Bibliotheca. This was actually not what I planned on posting today, but I ended up doing a unexpected unhaul of some of my books. So I decided that I was just going to share what those books are that I have decided that I'm unhauling. Hopefully this won't be too long, but I do have quite a few books that I decided that I'm gonna unhaul. I'll try to be quick on the reasoning, but I'm probably not going to explain much on each of them. There is no order to this, it's just whatever's on the top of the stack is what's going to be shown first. So let's get started. Maybe I'll put a counter somewhere to tell you how many books I'm hauling, because I just like a counter. The first book I'm going to be talking about, though, is Nameless, A Tale of Beauty and Madness by Lily St. Croix. I have read this one, and I remember really enjoying it, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about it, and I don't care enough to reread it. So I'm unhauling it. The next book is Forest of Shadows by Camilla Benko. This is a Frozen story, and I just remember thinking that it was just okay. And the only reason I kept it is because it was a book about Frozen, and that was all there is to it. I really don't need this though, because I didn't even like it that much. I thought it was just okay. So I'm unhauling it because I really don't need it on my shelves. Then we have Furthermore by Tierra Mafi. This was one that I bought because I liked the cover, even though I knew I didn't really care for the story. I thought the story, when I read it, was okay. And I was like, probably a good thing I got it from the library. But then I saw that it was on sale somewhere, so then I had to buy it because it was a pretty cover, and then I was like, okay, maybe I didn't like it the first time, but I could reread it and see if I like it the second time. I'm never gonna reread this. I'm not gonna. And the only reason I've had it kept on my shelves this long is because I really love the cover so much. And as I keep saying, pretty covers, they're my weakness. There's the book House of the Star by Caitlin Brennan. This was a cute horse book that I read when I was younger, or at least I remember enjoying it well enough. Could I tell you a single thing about it except that it's a horse book? No, not really. And I don't care to reread it to find out, so unhauling. This next book is going to surprise some people that I'm unhauling it, but it all has to do with the way it looks, and I just can't. And that's the French edition of The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson The Lightning Thief. I bought this off of Thrift Books, expecting a different cover. I did know that it was supposed to be a French edition, because that's what I wanted, a French edition. But this was not the cover that I thought I was getting, so that was disappointing. And I was like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. But then the spine irritates me so very much when it's on my shelf. And so like I end up just putting it upside down like this. I don't know, I can't stand it anymore. So I'm just going to get rid of it and hopefully get the French edition that I want instead of this one. The next book I got is Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine P. Patterson. And I'm unhauling this book because I didn't really like this book. The movie, I enjoy the movie. This book, not so much. And I kept it because I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a second try. No, I'm not gonna give it a second try. Why do I keep telling me I'm gonna give books second tries? I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna. The next book is A Smile as Big as the Moon by Mike Kirsties with Joe Layden. I actually read this a while ago. I don't know if it is quite up to standards nowadays, but I really did enjoy it when I first read it. And I wanted to keep it on my shelves, but I'm not going to reread it, so another unhaul. I just want to say that this book is based on a true story of this special education teacher taking his kids to space camp. Seems like a weird thing that I would enjoy, but I did really enjoy it at the time. I don't know about it holding up to standards of today though, so take that with a grain of salt. I am unhauling it, so that must say something. The next two books I have are 13 Little Blue Envelopes and The Last Little Blue Envelope by Maureen Johnson. And I read this from the library a while ago, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really cute travel story at the time, and I was like, oh, I'll reread that when I saw it for cheap. I'm not gonna. So I'm unhauling it. The next three books I just put together because they're all pretty much the same reason I'm getting rid of them. So it's The Mysterious Treasure Map by Jerry D. Thomas, Sunrise at the Mayan Temple by Sigmund Bauer, and A Horse Called Mayonnaise by Joanne Chitwick Nowak. All three of these books I read when I was younger and I like them, but I don't need to keep them anymore. Sometimes I think about reading the more of the series, but the other ones I don't really care. There's so many other books that I would rather read and reread actually than these books. So I'm just gonna say goodbye and let them go. This next book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is a well-beloved story that I feel like everyone raves about. I thought it was alright, and I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to like this at all, but I did end up liking it a little bit. But it was a long time ago, and I don't care anymore about the story. So I am going to unhaul it. Okay, this next book is like a children's book called Royally Fierce. It's like a bunch of pictures of Disney princesses with a quote on the side, and it's cute. I do think it's really adorable, but I don't need it, so I'm gonna unhaul it. I did have it for quite a while, but the time has passed, and I don't need it anymore. The next book is Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 1, but it's like a bilingual edition that I found so it has like the Japanese and the English in it. And I just thought that was really cool, but I don't have the nostalgia surrounding Cardcaptor Sakura to keep extras on my shelf, if that makes any sense. And I just really don't need this, and someone else would probably love to have this in their hands. So I'm gonna unhaul it. The next book is another manga, and it's called Mushroom Girls in Love by Kei Moriyama. This book is really adorable. It's really cute, and I do recommend this story. I just don't need it on my shelves anymore. I read it the one time. I think that's good. I do recommend picking this up if you want to learn about mushroom girls falling in love. It's really cute. The next one is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. And I actually started this one and then I didn't finish it. I even started annotating it a little bit and then I put it down and I never really wanted to pick it up. And then after I put it down, there hasn't been much good things I've heard about this story, which makes me want to even pick it up less. So I'm just going to try to get rid of it, and hopefully someone likes my annotations in the first 100 pages or so. The next book I have is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. Have I read any of her other books besides this one? No. And obviously I'm unhauling it, so I didn't like it that much. Okay, at the time, I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was cute. I don't remember very much about it at all, other than that. So take that what you will. And I don't see myself rereading it anytime soon or ever, so I'm unhauling it. The not seeing myself rereading it thing is a pretty big reason for unhauling the majority of these books. The next book I have is Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley. This was actually a pretty cute story. It's basically if the Bronte sisters could get into their stories they've written, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I read this. It's a fun time, but also, once again, I don't see myself rereading it, and I don't care. I don't remember it well enough, or like my memory of my enjoyment of the story is not high enough for me to keep it. The next two books I'm going to talk about are poetry books, and that's Yesterday I Was the Moon by Nora Unhaul, and then the next one is The Dark Between Stars by Atticus. And I'm just not a poem person. They're cute, and I did tab some of these, but I don't think I'm a poem person. I'm just not a poetry person. This is not my calling in my reading life, so I'm just unhauling these. The next stack of books, I have 8 books here, and that is My Hero Academia manga. I have the first 7 of the My Hero Academia manga, and then I have the spin-off Vigilantes, the first one in that series. And I just read these online, and so I don't really need the physical copies, especially since I'm not as attached to them as I used to be. So I'm just going to get rid of them, and when I read them, it's just going to be online. So that's what we have there. The next ones I have for you is a set of books that I found at a Goodwill for cheap, and that gets me every time. Even though I knew I didn't really care for this series, I was like, I want to give it a second shot. Not like I can't just borrow those books from the library or something, because I bet you all the libraries have this series. If I ever wanted to reread this, I could just get it from the library. It's not that hard, Mary. And that series is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I liked the first one. I mean, most people have similar opinions on the series. They like the first one, and then it just gets worse from there. So I'm unhauling them now. The next 3 books are the From the Start Arlene series. I got Collection Volume 1, Collection Volume 2, and then I even have a Wisher's Guide to Starland. And I got these because, once again, they were cheap, and I really liked the episodes they put on YouTube with this series. I thought they were cute, and then I saw them for like $3 a piece, or $2, I don't remember exactly, and so I picked them up, and I'm never going to read these. I will say I did try to read this one. I'm not gonna. I'm just... and I have to admit that to myself, and I am. So I'm unhauling them. So if you watched my TBR for February, this book is familiar to you, and that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. And in my TBR, I said if I don't read this, I'm going to unhaul it. So you can see how that went. I did try it. I got like 60 pages. I just didn't care. I didn't want to read it, and I'm not going to want to read it. So, and plus, it's another book that I can easily get from my library if I ever really wanted it, and I doubt I ever will. So I'm going to unhaul it. The next one is Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross, and I did enjoy this story. This comic is just like an overview of several things that happen in the Marvel comics, but from the average person's point of view and not the superhero's point of view. I read it because I was trying to figure out where I wanted to start reading Marvel comics. Obviously, I haven't started reading any more Marvel comics except for this one, and it didn't really help me in that department, but I don't care enough about it to keep it, so I'm going to unhaul it, and someone else can enjoy it. The next book is I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young, and this was a really cute read when I read it, but I've never continued, and I don't know if I'm invested enough in the story anymore to continue the series. I might eventually pick up the sequels, who knows, but as of this moment, I don't think I'm going to, so I'm just gonna unhaul this one. Okay, this next stack is a pretty large one, and while I'm only going to be holding up 2 books, it's going to encompass like 25 books, just so you know. I'm going to unhaul my Janet Evanovich books. This one kind of hurts, not gonna lie. And not because these books are amazing, they're not. They're just a fun, goofy time. If you want to have a laugh, you can pick these books up. I don't recommend it though because they're not that amazing. I just really like them. Not these ones specifically. Let me find the other ones that I have. The Stephanie Plum series is the majority of these books that I'm getting rid of, and I go back and forth if whether or not I want to get rid of these, and maybe I'll keep a couple. 11 on Top was my favorite because I would reread it all the time, but I go back and forth about getting rid of these, and I think that's mostly because I spent so much time finding the hardcovers. I have quite a few. Like, I am missing a very small amount of the hardcovers for the series, but once I read them, I don't really care about them very often anymore. Like, they're just a fun, goofy time while I'm reading it, and after that, they're like, poof, gone. I don't care about them anymore. So I think I should just get rid of them. And plus, if I ever do want to reread them for some reason, they're pretty much always available on my Libby app, and I really don't need these books on my shelf. They're just taking up space, and that's a lot of shelf space I'm getting if I get rid of these. Man, I don't know why this is so hard for me to admit that I'm getting rid of these, but I am. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make this video hold me accountable to get rid of these books, because watch me keep them anyway. watch me keep them anyway. I'm going to at least get rid of the heist and the chase, the ones I was holding up before. I'm at least going to get rid of them. And hopefully the Stephanie Plum ones too, because I really don't need them. I read them the one time and that's good enough for me. I don't really need them anymore on my shelves. If you see them still on my shelves after this video, don't comment about it. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to have two Unhauled numbers. This is the number without the Stephanie Plum books. This is the number with the Stephanie Plum books. One of these numbers is correct. This is going to be an unexpected ending to this Unhaul video. Hopefully you enjoyed my dread about getting rid of a series that I don't even recommend to the normal average everyday person. Hopefully you had fun. I hope to see you next week, but I make no promises. So, bye.